talking about Marvel's Shang-Chi is not streaming on Disney Plus. Sorry. We're sorry. Oh, you wanted to watch it on Disney Plus? We're so sorry. Oh my god, battery level low. Cool.
What are we doing here?
I'm gonna switch you over to that so they can see. And while you're talking about Shang-Chi,
You're gonna change our battery?
Shang-Chi, I'm gonna change the battery. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's great. Shang-Chi isn't streaming on Disney. The thing about this that I find most interesting is that is it basically saying that Scarlett Johansson was right when she complained that Black Widow was streamed on Disney Plus at the same time it was released to the theaters? Or has Disney realized that their model is not making them as much money, or there's something going on here, because Shang-Chi is not going to be streaming on Disney Plus. It will, but not initially. Now that the movie is out now, it will actually wait. Let's see. It's going to wait, I think, until October before you can actually watch it on Disney Plus. Let's go through.
I'm back. Sorry.
No problem.
All right, what do you want to go through?
I was just explaining to him that they're going to hold out for the streaming on Disney Plus.
Right, but what does that mean for literally a month ago when Black Widow came out and that whole thing with the fact? I mean, they basically just they ended the relationship with ScarJo because of that.
And then basically now they're admitting they were wrong. I mean, basically what it says here is the company hasn't given a full confirmation about exactly how this is going to be released on Disney Plus yet, but they've made a commitment of at least 45 days. So mid-October, and then the movie will be expected to be able to be on Disney Plus. So we're looking at probably like October 18th is when that'll happen. But my question is, what's the explanation? Why the change?
Right.
Is it an admission of wrongdoing? Did they do them wrong? Is this the way it's going to be going forward? You can't get it on Disney Plus, now. Remember they used the excuse about the virus, right?
Right.
And said basically that Johansson wasn't being sensitive.
Oh my God, that was such a dirty move.
To people who don't want to go out, but now here they are making it so people got to go out to see the movie.
Right.
So what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, what it sounds like to me is it sounds like they didn't make enough money on Black Widow.
That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah. Sounds a lot like, oh, we didn't make enough money on Black Widow. And, we realized that we need the spectacle of the theater to push these big Marvel, pieces.
Interesting. I guess before this Free Guy was, so it says here, some of Disney movies, typically mid-budget live action movies, and its latest Pixar film, Luca and Soul, skipped theaters entirely and were available to stream on Disney Plus at no extra cost. For the biggest films, Disney Plus introduced its Premier Access model to sell streaming service access to new big screen movies. Disney Plus members could stream brand new movies at home for $30 on top of their normal subscription price. Disney has released 5 movies this way, notably Marvel's Black Widow in July. Then, as vaccinations widened, Disney reintroduced plans for theatrical exclusives again. The first movie to hit theaters this way was Free Guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Delta variant has thrown a wrench in all the studio's release plans, which they devised at the height of optimism about a box office recovery. So what's the deal? They changed their mind. Now they said, it's obvious the Delta variant's apparently gotten worse. So why would they have changed this model? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it wasn't worse in July when Black Widow came out. It's worse now.
Yeah. So it makes me think that, all this company pandering is just sort of BS. Because basically, if they had made the money they wanted on Black Widow, then it would be the same deal. Think about this. What are the big stars in this movie? Like, they're worried about upsetting the big stars. You had no problem upsetting Scarlett Johansson, which is one of your largest Marvel stars.
Right.
Yet the newcomers, back to the theaters. What's the reasoning? And they're not going to put a statement out because they want everybody to forget about it. But bottom line is the reasoning is they didn't make enough money. They didn't get the spectacle they wanted off Black Widow, and so they changed their tune, which means their statement to Scarlett Johansson was not only totally inappropriate and in itself insensitive, right? But obviously totally wrong.
Right. It's right. Well, and you've got the Jungle Cruise, which which was done the same way. So Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, but they got an immediate sequel announced. So maybe that was done in a way to kind of appease them for maybe the loss they would have gotten at the box, that happened at the box office.
Right. Yeah, I can totally see that. Although what bums me out is like I think we're probably done with Scarlett Johansson's, time with Disney now.
I think so. I mean, I don't see how they can. I mean, unless Disney swallows some pride. It says the arrival of Eternals on Disney Plus could come 45 days after its theatrical release as well, or it could take many months actually. So that they really don't have a good handle on how they're going to do this moving forward.
Yeah, they don't even know when it's going to come out on streaming. So like, there's no. How is there no person over there that's like, this is the plan?
I know.
That's crazy. Multi-billion-dollar company can't figure it out.
It'll be interesting looking back at this when we finally see if they don't come up with some sort of model. We've talked about this. If they don't come up with a model for how to find out whether or not something is successful based on its streaming numbers in concert with its theatrical release numbers, we're not going to know if a movie is truly successful financially. And half of those numbers are being kept by the studio and they don't have to share it.
I gotta tell you, I bet you the studio loves the fact that they don't have to share their viewing, purchasing, and streaming numbers. Because think about this real quick. Think about the idea of you being in total control over the information that the people you're responsible to for paying see. Right?
Mm.
Oh,
yes.
You're getting, I just put a random number. You're getting 10% of this. We sold this many. These many people came. All right. Is there any way to verify that? No. Trust us.
True. Yeah. Apparently, Disney's going to wait until to see how Shang-Chi fares out before they determine what the Eternal streaming plan is going to be. So I think if Shang-Chi has a huge box office, you can probably expect to see the Eternals, not getting a streaming plan. And if Shang-Chi doesn't do great, if this weekend's not wonderful and the first couple weeks aren't great, then perhaps we do see Eternals on Disney Plus sooner.
Yeah, and Shang-Chi opened today, right?
Last night, yeah.
Last night. Yeah. So we'll know. We'll actually know on Monday. It'll probably be a topic we can probably cover.
Probably will, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think the movie's gonna do great. From Deadline, it says Shang-Chi smashing Labor Day opening weekend records with 60 million plus midday box office update from yesterday to today.
What? They got 60 million in the first night? Is that what it just said?
Yeah. Yeah, here, look. But here's the problem. How in the world do they possibly know that?
Well, they do. They know their Thursday night numbers, but I'm really surprised at those numbers.
No, I mean, again, though, are we amping up some of the narrative here to get people back in the theaters? Because I'm sorry, but there's Shang-Chi has no known quantity, no known superheroes, no known actors. It's technically connected to Iron Man 2 because that one guy, the Mandalorian, is somehow a part of it, but no one knows who he is. It's like, how is there excitement around a character that almost no one cares about, sells almost no comic books for years? I mean, I don't get it. The story doesn't move the Marvel story forward at all.
Okay.
Why would there be a mad rush to see this movie. I can see how it would be a good movie. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is not a Marvel Infinity War level movie. There's
Yeah.
nothing. There's no reason to go watch this in theaters.
They're predicting a 60 million opening weekend. It's not saying that's what they've brought in. They're predicting 60 million for the opening weekend.
What the hell is that based on? The actor that I've never seen in my entire life, of a character, of a superhero that I haven't heard of since I was 13, of a story from one of the worst Marvel movies in the docket. Iron Man 2 was one of the worst ones they ever made. So this is connected to one of the least, the not so great Marvel movies, and it's connected to characters no one knows about, with actors no one's heard about. How are you projecting such a large opening?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a couple other movies that had $60 million opening weekends.
Okay.
The movie Signs, Clash of Titans.
I'm sorry, hold up. So back to Signs.
Signs.
That was M. Night Shyamalan coming off of two bangers, and it had Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Here's a good one. Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, 60 million opening weekend.
Okay, that makes sense. Literally coming off of F8, right? At the height of the franchise, with The Rock and Jason Statham. Okay, I see those numbers make sense.
Well,
this doesn't make sense.
I will say that the only thing that they have going for them is there is nothing else playing that's new, that's worth anything.
Okay, so so there's zero competition.
Free Guys coming into its second week. You got, you've got the River Cruise. What was it? The
Jungle Cruise.
These movies have now been out for a while, so this is the new fresh thing to go see. You got Candyman, which had a first good weekend, but it's a totally different flavor. That's horror. This isn't. So, it could have a good weekend. 60 million seems a little high, but it is Marvel, so we'll see.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna. I think this projection is wrong. I don't see how this movie. I don't see how this movie beats, Iron Man 3, because at that number it would. It makes no sense.
So we will see.
Makes no sense. That's why you said, "Are you gonna watch this movie?" And I'm like, meh. If you say it's good, I'll go watch it. I'm gonna base the time I'm gonna spend watching this movie on. I'm gonna let you waste your time first, because again, I don't know any of these actors. I don't, I know of the character roughly, but guess what, guys? I know of the character Namor, but do I want to watch a Namor movie? No. Okay. Yes, there's many obscure characters in comics that you can make movies about. That doesn't mean you should. Okay. Especially so you're connecting it to like a patent. This is a bad play by Iron Man. It feels like they were just like really. That's right, Marvel. Like they really want to get like the Asian markets, the Chinese markets, like, and so this.
Well, for sure, they're going big. It released over there in August, so It didn't release here.
Right.
It says Black Widow had an 80 million opening. $80 million.
Really?
Yeah.
The Black Widow?
That's what it says. $80 million opening at the domestic box office.
Wow. Why does this article say Black Widow's $39.5 million? Weird.
Let's see.
Maybe Deadline's just full of it.
Well, this is the Hollywood Reporter.
Okay. All right, yeah. So and that makes sense to me. The Black Widow, based on one of the beloved stars of Marvel, and Scarlett Johansson, and it's a Marvel movie. It's the first one after. It's really the first one after Endgame, featuring an actual Avenger. I could see it getting $80 million, sure, even if it's not forwarding the story or whatever per se. Yeah, I get that. I just don't see. I don't see Shang-Chi going down in history as one of the better Marvel movies. I don't see how it happens.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. The character is. I watched the trailer, and there's some compelling things about it, but there's a whole lot of martial arts, and seemed to take up most of the trailer, which I get you want action, but I got to see the background for this character and how it all connects to the big Marvel universe.
Right. And remember this, there was already a version of this character, a version, I should say, a type of version of this character in the Marvel universe. You know, if you guys recall the Netflix series Iron Fist, one of the worst TV shows I've ever seen, period, the end. And it was about this sort of wannabe Batman billionaire. He's an orphan, just like Batman, goes to Asia somewhere, learns how to be a martial artist, comes back with the ability to punch someone really hard. That was what the series was about. Iron Fist. If he was really close to you, he could punch you real hard. And no one watched that TV show. It is widely known to be the worst of the Marvel TV shows.
Well, let's see what happens.
Thanks for watching. To see the full conversation, become a member of the Popcast family. Use the link in the description below or go to our channel and click the join button. Select your tier and we'll see you at the next show.